guys, it's me, Crystal from Marching North, and today I'm going to show you how to make this cute macrame owl wall hanging. So first we're going to take our 106-inch long cord, find the center, and then you're going to hold it like this, and we're going to attach it in these two spots with lark's head knots. So first we're going to do the right side, so just loop it over your dowel like this, and pull the ends through. And the left cord is going to be longer than the right cord, but that's what you want. So just go ahead and attach it like that. And then take the left cord and you're going to bring it up in front and over the dowel like this. And then you're going to bring the end through that loop that's formed. Then you're going to take it and bring that end up behind the dowel and over. And then you're going to bring that end through that loop that we just formed. Then just pull it to tighten it up and it'll make another lark's head knot. Then you just need to space out your cord a little bit, leaving about 7 or so inches, and we'll adjust this later. Then you're going to grab your 8 pieces of cord that are 94 inches long and you're going to attach them to this hanging cord with lark's head knots. Once you get them all attached, then you can just adjust the hanging cord so it is even like that. Now grab the 2 center cords and we're going to tie a square knot. So just bring that left cord over, bring the right cord back behind and pull the cord through. Tighten it up. And then you repeat that on the right side, bringing the right cord in front and across, the left cord behind, bring it through and tighten it up. And that is a square knot, so we have 1, and then we're going to make another square knot on either side of that square knot we just tied. So you'll have 3 here all together. Now you're going to tie another square knot between the first and second square knot. So just tie that one and then you're going to tie one more to the right of that. So you have 1 square knot in between each of the square knots from the previous row. Tie 1 more square knot right in the center and that'll finish off our little inverted triangle here. Now you're going to use the far left cord as a holding cord and tie 8 double half hitch knots going down and to the right. Now we're going to use the far right cord as a holding cord and tie 8 diagonal double half hitch knots going down and to the left. Then cross the right holding cord over the left holding cord and tie 1 last double half hitch knot to connect the 2 sides. Use the far left cord again and tie 8 more double half hitch knots going down and to the right. Use the far right cord to tie 8 double half hitch knots going down into the left. This time cross the left cord over the right cord and tie one last double half hitch knot to connect the two sides going down into the right. Now grab the 7th cord from the left and use it to tie 2 double half hitch knots going down into the right. Now grab the 7th cord from the right and you're going to tie 3 diagonal double half hitch knots going down into the left, and the last one will be connecting the two sides. Now grab the 5th cord from the left and we're going to thread on one of our beads. So I recommend using some tape or something to make the end of your cord not all frayed, or else it's really hard to get the bead on there. But I just used a piece of Scotch tape and rolled it up as best I could. And then you're just going to thread on your bead and scoot it all the way up to the top of the cord. Repeat that with the 5th cord from the right. We'll make the fringy part of the eyes with these key rings here in a minute, but we're going to continue on for now. So grab the 4 cords that are right to the right of the left bead, and you're just going to tie a square knot and snug it up against the little nose part, and then do the same thing to the right of that. So you'll have 2 square knots for this row. And then you're going to tie 1 more square knot right in the center. Now we're going to grab the 2 far left cords and we're going to tie 10 vertical lark's head knots. So you're going to hold the far left cord in front of the other left cord in the shape of a 4, loop it around and pull it through like that, tighten it up, and then you're going to bring the far left cord behind the other cord in the same shape of a 4, bring it around to the front and loop it through. And that is 1 vertical lark's head knot. Then you're just going to repeat that until you have 10 all together on this side. All right, we got the left done, and now we're going to do the same thing over on the right, but in the other direction. So hold the far right cord in front of the cord next to it in a 4 shape, but a reverse 4 shape. Bring it around and through the loop, tighten it up, and then again you're going to bring that far right cord and cross it behind the cord next to it in the 4 shape, bring it around and pull it through the loop. Then tighten it up, and that's 1 vertical lark's head knot, and then you're going to do that until you have 10 on the side as well. All right, now we're going to take the left center cord and we're going to use it as a filler cord to tie a row of double half hitch knots going across to the left. And you'll want the left end of this row to meet up with the vertical lark's head knots that we just tied. All right, now you're going to take the right center cord and do the same thing, just making a row of double half hitch knots that goes all the way across to the right and meets up with that right row of vertical lark's head knots. Now grab the 4 center cords and you're going to tie 2 square knots stacked on top of each other. Grab the 4 cords to the left and you're going to tie 1 square knot over here. And then you're going to grab the 4 cords to the right of the center knots and tie 1 square knot over on that side. Then in between the left and center knots, you're going to tie 2 square knots stacked on top of each other here. And then do the same thing between the right and center knots. Now grab the 4 cords to the left of the 2 square knots you just tied and you're going to tie 2 more square knots over there. And then you're going to grab the 4 cords to the right of the right square knot you tied and tie 2 square knots over there. Now you're going to tie 3 clusters of 2 knots in between each of the clusters from the previous row. Tie 2 square knots stacked on top of each other in between each of the clusters from the previous row. Now grab the leftmost cord and we're going to tie some double half hitch knots here to make the body. So you're going to leave this little space and we're going to fill it in with some fringe in a little bit. So just go ahead and tie the first knot and just leave a space there. Then just kind of pull on the cord to leave a little extra slack there for our fringe, and then continue, and you're going to tie 5 double half hitch knots all together going down into the right. Now you're going to do the same thing over on the right, so just tie 5 double half hitch knots going down into the left. Now you're going to grab the left 4 center cords here and you're going to tie 5 square knots stacked underneath the 2 left square knots that we tied. Repeat that with the right 4 center cords. So here's how he's looking at this point, and now we're going to go and make the eye covers. So you're going to grab one of your small rings and a 20-inch piece of cord and fold it in half on one end, leaving 3.5 inches there on the one side. And you're going to use this to make a lark's head knot in your little ring. So just loop it through and then pull the ends through the loop, and that way there's going to be a really long cord on the left and a really short cord on the right. And now we're going to use the long cord to tie some more lark's head knots around the ring. So you're going to take your long end, bring it in front of the ring and through, and then bring the end through the loop underneath the ring there and tighten it up. And then you're going to bring the end behind your ring, bring it through the ring and the loop, and tighten it up. And that makes 1 lark's head knot. You're going to repeat this until you have 5 lark's head knots on the ring. We'll be using the 2 cords hanging off of these lark's head knots to attach our eyeball to our owl, so make sure that they're pretty even in length. All right, now that we got that done, we're going to take our 5-inch pieces of fringe and we're going to attach them to the empty space on the ring using just regular lark's head knots. You're going to attach 6 pieces of fringe all together. Here's how it'll look once you get all your pieces attached. So now we're just going to untwist the fringe from the little lark's head fringe we did here. So just untwist it, and then we're going to separate them all out, brush it out really good, and trim it down. I made my eyeball fringe probably about 3/4 of an inch long or so. It's really kind of up to you. Just repeat that for the other eyeball, and then I'll show you how we're going to attach them. So here we have our little eye pieces. The part without the fringe sticking out is going to go like in the center, and then the fringe kind of goes on the outside like this. So I got the right one centered where I wanted it kind of, and then I'm flipping the whole thing around. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull the top cord through this little section here above that center square knot. And then you're just going to bring the other cord out under the bead, kind of to the left of the bead there. And now you can just take those 2 cords and tie them together in a knot. Then you can flip your wall hanging around and see that you like how it's placed and kind of adjust it. And now we're going to do the same thing over on the left. All right, now our owl has his cute little eyeballs. So now we're going to scoot down and we're going to add 5 pieces of fringe to each of these little loops that we left, just using lark's head knots. Fold it in half and loop it through. And just put 5 pieces on each side. All right, now we're going to add our little perch to the legs, and I'm just using the stick I found outside. So start with the right leg, and you're going to take the 2 right cords and you're going to loop them up and over your perch. And then you're going to take the 2 left cords and loop them up and over like this. And then you're going to kind of roll it up. And this is kind of like tying a berry knot. We're going to roll it up and then we're going to tie a square knot here at the base to hold it in place. So tighten up the square knot until it's holding the little foot up where you want it to be. and then finish up the bottom of your square knot. Repeat that over on the left side and just try to get it even with your right foot as best as you can. All right, now our little owl has a cute little perch to sit on. So now we're gonna cut the wing fringe here. So all these cords that we use to tie these double half hitch knots, these 5 cords, we're gonna cut those even with the fringe pieces. Save the longest piece of cord you have from doing this, and we're gonna use it for our wrapping knot. So just go ahead and cut the left cords even, and then cut the 5 cords over on the right even as well. Since there was a little bit of a waist cord, I just grabbed the longest one and used it for my wrapping knot. You can also just cut a piece of cord that's about 24 inches long, and we're going to tie a wrapping knot here around these center cords. So just hold it in that U shape, and then we're going to wrap around about 7 times. Then you're going to bring the end through the little loop at the bottom of the wraps, and pull the short cord sticking out of the top to bring that little loop up halfway under the wraps. Then just gently pull on all of the cords in the center of the wrapping knot there, just to kind of get rid of any loose slack up at the top so it all lays nice and neat. And then go ahead and cut the cords that you use to make the wrapping knot, and stuff the little tiny short ends up underneath the wraps. Now we just have to cut the bottom fringe, so just cut this however long you want it. And if you want to, you can untwist the fringe. I like how that looks, so that's what I did. And then you can go and untwist the fringe for the wings as well. And I later, after I brushed it, I did add some stiffening spray and let it dry, and then I brushed it out again. Then flip your owl around and just cut down the cords where we tied on the little eye parts. And I didn't bother like hiding the cords or anything because you really can't see them anyways. And you can add some glue if you're worried about the knots coming undone. And here is our cute little owl. It's all finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please leave a like, comment, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thanks for watching!